Now, Taylor?
You're listening to Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. Small town feel with big time ideas. After all, you are entitled to Brad's opinion. Here's your host, Brad Allard.
You know, sometimes I find that intro amusing about being entitled to my opinion. Not if you ever had Lisa Boltinghouse in the room. I mean, are you kidding me? You know, I'm gonna hear her opinion, right? Is that how this works?
Is it my? I guess it'd be my opinion.
Well, I mean, just saying.
Yeah.
You know,
My wisdom.
Yeah, your wisdom, your sagacity. That's a good word. I'll explain that.
Sagacity.
Yes, I know that's a word. I'll have to explain to Taylor. Anyway, he's got all these new sound effects he wants to play with today. I'm afraid what's going to happen.
I like it.
Well, anyway, we're going to talk about the situation at the Center for ASD, where it stands now, how it got to this point, what we could do, if anything. I mean, that's a big ask, I know, but we're hoping for good news. You have some for us today?
We have some movement.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll go through all those details. And at the end of the show, I'm going to tell you about this new arrangement that I've made with another local outlet that's going to be really exciting for the Mr. Allard's Neighborhood podcast.
Very nice.
And you're going to be the first one to benefit from it.
Oh, nice.
So I'll tell you about it at the end, because that way it keeps the listeners. Well, it keeps the listeners, you know,
on edge.
I got to tune in and see what he has to say.
In suspense.
Yeah, that's right. And we have Jasmine here, who's going to be, you know, when I see y'all together, it reminds me of. You ever see the movie Major League?
Yes.
Okay, and Bob Uecker's going on, and he's, "What do you think, Monty?" Nothing. You know, they don't call him the best color guy for nothing. You know, you know. It's so. And she's already texting.
She's taking care of all my. Yeah, she's sending, making sure that people share. Share.
Oh, I thought she was texting her boy saying, "Hey, I'll wave at you."
No.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the sponsors, because they make all this silliness possible. Thank you, Otto, at our place, as always. Good food, good service, a great place. It's been around a long time. I like doing business there and at Gina's because it's just a good atmosphere. It's very relaxing. You don't have a lot of hassle. Oh, you got to mess with the mics here? Okay. All right, good.
What did you say? You don't have a lot of what?
A lot of hassle.
Oh, that's not what I thought you said. I was like, what did he just call me?
I said, you're messing with the mics? Messing with the mics, I think I said when he was over here, but not a lot of hassle. Okay, fine. See, I told you we're going to have all these. No, I didn't say anything bad.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, the Hour Place. What did he just call me? You know, go to Gina's, please. Anyway, it's where I do a lot of my business. I did some Monday night with Jeff Kelly, who is going to be the guest next Monday. And then also tonight, I'm going to be talking with Cody O'Brien at the Burleson Buzz. And I just like to do it at Gina's because you can get yourself a decent pizza and a beer.
That's good.
You know, and I like the music. They have that, you know, jazz blues stuff going on. You know, the blues. He loves Chicago blues. Otto just came back from the annual Buddy Guy Festival. And, you know, Buddy Guy is a big name in, you know, the old blues and whatnot. Anyway, thank you to our friends over at Wild Cigar. And they got big plans for the Super Bowl. So go there, a big game. Are you going to watch the Super Bowl? Or is it like, oh, it's Patrick Mahomes again? He's becoming for me like Tom Brady was. Okay, why are we even bothering having a season? Just who's going to play the Chiefs now? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are you like those teams?
I mean, they're not my favorite, but you know, let's not talk about the Cowboys and how mad I am about that situation.
Well, I tell you,
I'm so over it. It's like entertainment. Like they want to be like. I'm like, come on, Jerry. You know,
quit it?
you know when I lost it for the Dallas Cowboys when I saw Jerry Jones on the Mike Tyson fight. I was like, no, this is a show for him. And the Cowboys, I don't know if we're ever going to be a serious football team again while this is all playing out.
You know, the only people that are madder than Cowboy fans are Maverick fans because they traded Luka and all that. And I'm like, well, that's...
We dealt with heartbreak in my house that day.
I bet you did. I'm not a big NBA guy. I'm much more into college basketball, but still, it's just like, oh, guys, give me a break. Back to Wild Cigar, though.
Yeah.
You know, because they're actually paying for this spot.
They're going to be doing a Super Bowl.
Yeah, big one. And they have some cigar deals, of course, and they have some drink specials. It's going to be a lot of fun. It really is it's a good place to do business there. I've done it a couple times there as well because, you know, it's not like loud, not a lot of noise. Even with the ball games and stuff on, it's a good place to go to watch, you know, the baseball games in the summertime because a lot of people didn't get the Rangers, you know, because of the weird deal they had going on. So occasionally I go over there and check it out. Also,
they also have a patio.
Yes, they do.
Don't forget they have a patio.
Yes,
so if you're not fond of the smell of cigars, which they have a great system inside of their building to take care of that, you can still go enjoy their patio.
That's right. See, you're a professional at this, aren't you? You've been here enough to do it.
I could take over.
Okay, well then take the next one then.
Let's see. This is my favorite.
Yeah, I figured you'd
If you like seeing very shiny things, go see Gayla at Southern Gem. So not only is Southern Gem fine jewelry and gemstones, and she puts out quality items. She's fixed a few. She actually redid my wedding rings. She had to whatever them with white gold.
You said multiple rings, so one for each husband? What is it?
Yeah. My husband's going to be like, what are y'all talking about?
This is for that one, and this is, the other one he doesn't know about.
Right. He'd be like, as long as they're paying something to our house, that's fine.
We're talking.
But Gayla also supports the community. She does. She did a really cool fundraiser for Wings of Hope back at
Derby Day.
Yeah.
And that's coming again. And I don't know who she's going to support this time. She usually kind of spreads it around. Yeah. She is having a big deal on, I believe, the 13th, right before Valentine's Day. So, and, Robin's having to prepare for that. Brooke Mathis says, good morning.
Good morning, Brooke.
And we're keeping Melissa in our thoughts. I hear she's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
And so thank you for keeping us posted, y'all, because, a lot of people care about y'all. So.
And they're getting ready to go out of town, and I hope you'll find some rest.
Yes, absolutely. But anyway, back to Gayla. She's got this big thing going on. She likes to entertain. I've been to several of her things, of course, because of Robin, and it's always done very nice. Has hors d'oeuvres and appropriate drinks. Go swig beer out of the bottle.
It's so fancy. She has very fancy
champagne and decent wine, that kind of thing. Also, thank you to our friends at Old Pro Roofing, John Williams, 817-734-2756. A good time. This nice warm weather is a good time to get your roof inspected, because a bad time to find out you need a new roof is when it's raining. And I have him inspect my roof every June, because I want to make sure, because also dealing with insurance companies has become very problematic. And he'll help you with that too, but he'll tell you what's the status of your roof. It's either going to be, in need of repair, or you're just fine. He's not going to try to make you think your house is falling down and just to make a sale. They're very honest people over at Old Pro. And, of course, our friend over at the Withington Agency, Jeff Kelly, I mentioned him already. He's going to be here on Monday. We're going to talk about the interest rates. We're going to talk about the real estate markets and whatever else. You can get him at 817-781-0546 or Jeff at jeffkellyrealty.com. And like I mentioned earlier, I saw him at Gina's Monday night. We visited together, a little sponsor care, if you will. And he wanted to know what's going on with the radio and blah, blah, blah. And so it's it's always, he's just a very nice guy to talk to. Really, he's a very, very pleasant person. So it was always an enjoyable evening. Also, another pleasant person, Michelle Humphrey, over at Hotworks.
Yeah.
You know them?
I do.
Do you ever down and then go there? Or?
I have. Yeah,
okay.
I really like it. I have a fun story about it. I won't share it right now.
Is it off
It's not.
Okay.
It has to do with anxiety and being in a hot box.
Well, that's the deal.
It didn't play out well.
Well, I could see that, but the thing about it, she has 11 different workouts. So if that one didn't work for you,
I love it, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah, and she's also very, very knowledgeable about health-related, fitness-related things. And I've had her on the show, gosh, over the years, probably about 6 times. Last time I had her on was early December. And, I've been over there, again, for customer care, if you will. And it's a very secure place. It's a clean place, obviously. And it's also, like it says, has varieties with that infrared workout. So, if, you'll find something you want. Believe also the next one here is our friend Tiffany Griffin at Local Life. You should have your magazine by now. Has it come yet? I looked on the website and about 3 days ago see what the topic or the cover was, but I didn't see it change. So I'm sure y'all have it and y'all know what it is. She does a great job. 30,000 homes get it. I've gone to get my oil changed or waiting on a table or something like that. Not at autos. They always put me first. Get out of the way, old lady. We're going to sit this man here.
You have your own booth there.
Yeah, my own place. Like the Godfather's table. Yeah. Anyway, but no, But I see it everywhere, not just in homes, but a lot of businesses as well. So Tiffany does a really good job of getting the word out for your business. And like I mentioned earlier, I'll be seeing Cody O'Brien at the Burleson Buzz. He's always good for the news. We're going to talk about Oh, things that are going on. I believe I might be the topic of his next buzz. He does like local profiles, and I threatened him if I'd say bad things on the air if he didn't do profile on me. So there you go. Thank you, Cody. We look forward to it. All right, let's talk about Center for ASD. And the elephant in the room again, of course, is your situation with your space. I'm going to let you just say it as you want. I'm not going to ask a lot of questions because we don't want to, mischaracterize the situation. Right. All right. So you tell us what's going on with that.
Okay. So our lease is up on July 1st, and we do not have a lease that we are going to renew. So Crestmont is putting the church on the market.
The whole building.
The whole building.
Okay.
Yes, the whole building.
What are they going to? Are they building a new building, or
they would like to plant in a different place? Yes, they would like to find something that I think is more suitable for their current size and potential growth or future.
I did not know they were selling the building. I thought they were just. My impression was that they needed your space for church-related activities.
Right. They're selling the whole building.
Okay.
So we have, one of the things that I don't ever want people to not acknowledge is that, we have definitely been blessed by them in our relationship for the past 4.5 years. And, we look forward to the next few months that we have with them. But we were very...
That's accidental. Okay, all right.
Yeah, we were very... they had to make some decisions as their congregation is changing, and we have to make some decisions as our organization is changing. And so it was best that we make those decisions separately without keeping each other in mind, because we had to be independent of each other for a moment.
Yeah.
So that has prompted, the sale of the building with being put on the market. And so we are looking for space, and we are shopping around. We're talking to a few people. We're even talking to the realtor that has listed Crestmont.
About staying there or a different location?
About potentially staying there. So right now we have a table full of information. There are lots of factors that we have to play into this, right? We have to play into where, if, like I said, Crestmont is not off the table. There may be opportunity for us to buy Crestmont.
Wow. The whole building, huh?
The whole building. But again, that comes down to, are we able to raise the funds?
That's a lot of money, though.
It is a lot of money. So I have to talk to people, because as an organization, as a nonprofit, a lot of our fundraising, or a lot of our money comes from fundraising. So we don't qualify for things like conventional loans, things like that.
Really?
So we have to come up with a very large down payment to present to anybody, whether we buy, Crestmont or we buy a different building. We have to come up with a large down payment anyway, so that way we can qualify for the remaining of the loan. So,
all right. Would you be able to fill that entire building, though? I've been to Crestmont a couple of times, usually for weddings. It's my church is First Baptist, which, but I've been in Crestmont. I've been there for a couple of services even. And would that be a situation where maybe you could lease out space to somebody else if you bought the building? Yeah. And see, you and I have talked about, and a couple of your colleagues in this field, like Megan over at Next Step, having one location for all the services. Maybe it could come about. And
we've had people contact us about, wanting to host, I see people on social media, and they're, are there any breast cancer support groups in the area? And people will comment, no, there's not. And I'm like, make one and come use one of our rooms. Like, we want to be open, and we want to serve the community. So I could definitely see us filling up the building if that was the space that we take on. It would happen easily and quickly.
I would imagine. I mean, there's a lot of nonprofits that, like, I'm dealing with one in about 2 or 3 weeks. I've had on the Man-to-Man Clark Project.
Yeah.
The 3 ladies that run it do it out of their homes.
Yep.
They don't have a physical location.
Yeah. Support a Man-to-Man Clark Project if you don't. They bring awareness to colorectal cancer.
Yeah, and they're on the show again early March, because they have a big event in March over to their big fundraiser as well. And, I could see them, taking a room, taking a space. And then,
there's all these places that need help, that need a hand up. There's just not a lot of places that have the opportunity to give that hand up.
And I'm scattershooting. Maybe Lisa Schwartz at Crazy 8 could use a Burleson office or something like that, because they driving back and forth and all this other stuff. I could see a lot of possibilities.
And we also, our adult program is growing, and it needs to grow. So there's lots of potential and opportunity for us to grow. So that's assuming we stay at Crestmont. Again, we have to look all over and keep all of our options open. So we did go look at Jonathan Cook has a great building behind Old South Pancake House.
Really?
It's a beautiful building.
It's in Fort Worth, though.
No, it's right here by Old South. Yeah.
You talking about the old Calvary Church?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
So, but it's not big enough for us. Jasmine and I went and looked at it a couple of weeks ago. It's not big enough. I walked into that building. I was like, oh my gosh, please, can we make this work? And we walked in. I was like, there's no way. There's no way it would meet our needs at all. So we couldn't even stay in that space. But, we're going to go look at the property that's next to Pirates Cove. Their realtor's the listing agent's been sick, but it's off Bethesda and 35. It's been.
Well, okay, Bethesda and 35, if I recall, it's also where United Co-op is.
Yes, it's across from United Co-op.
Okay.
It used to be a church, and then it became, I think, an adult daycare, and it's been on the market for a while. So we were going to go look at that. We went and looked at a place in Crowley.
Off of Bean Street.
Off of Bean. And
I don't even know.
It's right by the high school.
Okay.
So right by the Crowley High School, up the street from there, there's a church that sits on like 2 or 3 acres. But again, it's not big enough for our needs. It didn't have a full kitchen, and we need a full kitchen. It has like a little break room kind of thing. But we're potentially, if we have to rent, we're also looking at opportunities for us to rent. But renting right now, as we all know, is expensive.
Very much so.
So again, going back to that relationship with Crestmont, we know we've been blessed, but we have to look at all opportunities. But the difference is, and something that I kind of want to explain to everybody is, we have these buckets that we work out of. And what's our first bucket, Jasmine? Do you know?
Forever Home.
No, that's our second bucket.
What is this, quiz?
Yeah, she had like 6 parent meetings already, and I've been tuning in and tuning in at the same time.
Our first bucket. Jasmine's like, save me. Hi, babe.
Oh, this is
sustainability.
Oh, it's Brad Building House. Okay. Yeah. He says, good morning.
Yeah.
She wouldn't call me babe. Is that Brad?
I call you babe. Well, you want to match some funds? I'll call you babe.
Okay.
So anyway, we have our sustainability bucket, right? So our sustainability bucket is taking care of our day-to-day, our bills, our staff, but also what people don't understand, that our sustainability is our programs. We have to constantly evolve and improve our programs because we're serving these individuals for years and years. We have an adult that's been in our program for 6 years. We can't teach him and show him and take him to the same places that we did 2 years ago. It's boring. It gets stagnant, and those that we serve deserve more. So we have sustainability, and then we have our Forever Home, and then we have scholarship and low-cost programs, right?
Right.
But we have this giant barrier of needing a building. So the goal is to buy as opposed to rent.
Absolutely.
Because if we rent, we're going to be stuck in bucket number 1 for a very long time.
Plus, all the ups and downs of the rental markets. It's been an issue.
And if we get involved with a rental property that belongs to a church, again, if churches are renting, they're looking for a change. And do we want to be in a relationship with another church that may change in 2 or 3 years? Because our big vision, our long-term vision isn't going to happen for about 8 years or so. Right.
And I could think of buildings that may have unused space during the week, like churches. Yeah. But it's not as easy just moving in.
It's not, especially when we need dedicated space.
Right. This is not a space that's not, they're going to pack it up Friday afternoon for the services, right? And all that. Yeah. I'm kind of going back to the idea of buying the building, and I don't know if this is something I've thought about, but mutual collaboration with some of the other larger nonprofits. Right. Like we've always said, hey, let's have one big building. Yeah, you have, Howell had the big facilities. And I don't know how well that would work, but it sounds great,
It does sound great. And we definitely could do it. We have to.
There is Megan from Next Step. Hey, we are praying for provision for the perfect forever home for the Center for ASD.
Thank you, Megan.
Ain't she sweet?
She is.
Yeah.
She's so cute, too.
Yeah, she is. My wife says she's just darling.
She's just darling.
Just darling. Robin really's fond of her. But that kind of collaboration may be possible, but I don't know, y'all have such different needs. Megan's crew has their needs, and then of course like Harvest House, they have theirs, and on and on and on. But
the more established organizations would be a little bit harder to collaborate with because they do have their space, they do have their. I think we are the only organization that I would consider established that does not own our own home. just not have our own property. Hi, Jeff.
Wow, they're coming on in here, aren't they? Is Jeff one of your clients?
Jeff, well, no, he's one of our supporters. He's actually with Alley Cats.
Alley Cats, is that right?
Yeah.
Does he run Alley Cats?
He does.
He needs to advertise on Mr. Allard's neighborhood. Jeff, you listening to me?
I'll talk to Jeff for you if you want to sponsor. If you want to donate some money, you want to match some dollars.
You have paper right here that says I donated. All right.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
All right. So, so he's the one I need to shake down for either this podcast or the radio station.
Jeff, it's okay to log out. I'll talk to you later.
You've been outed, Jeff. You've been found out. So, anyway. As far as the other issues with the space, so it's you'd have to make some changes, wouldn't you?
Not terribly,
Okay.
and that's the thing. Like if we were to purchase Crestmont, because obviously that's kind of where Mr. Allard would like to stay and visit for a while. If we would purchase the building, and honestly, that would be the easiest for us. It would be, and it would be the less traumatic on our families and our participants.
Well, that was my next point. If you move, particularly if you have to move out of this area a little bit, won't that be a problem for your clients?
We would lose some participants and we would lose some supporters.
Yeah.
We would also gain participants and we would also gain some supporters.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of those, your clients have probably a pretty tight emotional attachment to your group. I remember the last time you were here, you brought a parent and a young boy, Declan, I believe his name was, and very cute little boy, and he was, very
mouthy.
Well, he's just a little
fun.
boy, 8-year-old boy, right?
Yeah.
What do you expect? He's not going to go over there and read Shakespeare. Yeah. He's going to
he
be
will.
silly. He's going to be, he was like he was, and it gets on the air. And I love Center for ASD, and there's a lot of people who feel that way. So we'd hate to see you leave the Burleson area.
We would too.
You don't want to go to Crowley anyway. I mean,
we would too.
Burleson's better.
And we did. We've just built such a solid community base in Burleson, and but we did send out a survey to our parents. The survey went out, right?
Yes, it went out
And
yesterday.
it asked for what did it ask for?
I didn't get to see it. I'm going to tell you now. I did not
give Jasmine opportunity to jump in here.
I did not get to see it at all. I just knew it went out yesterday. Did not see any questions. I do know though, one question was asked: how far would you travel?
Yeah, that's the big question.
And where they're located.
How far would you travel? And travel to stay with us. So, we included Joshua in that. We included Mansfield. We included Southwest Fort Worth, Alvarado, because those are questions that we need to have answered.
Well, yeah. And but one of the things that's made Burleson really, really worth living in, it's not just Center for ASD, but that's a big part of it. It's also Megan's group at
it's the organizations.
Harvest House. It's Lisa Schwartz. It's Promises Community. I can name several, large and small. Because I've said this many, many times on the air. I sit in this seat and I talk to all of y'all, and I think, my goodness, how are we this fortunate to have these kind of dedicated people to do? And it's like every aspect of need in some fashion is taken care of. Equine therapy. How many communities have that? Right. Wings of Hope and whatnot. And so.
And what kind of people? What kind of communities have it where we work in partnership with organizations? Wings of Hope serves our participants on Monday. We take some of our participants to them, and they are served there. We're now starting to talk to Harvest House because I'm a member of the Midday Rotary Club, and Midday Rotary Club wants to go volunteer at Harvest House, but sometimes we need to fill the slots. And I'm like, hey, can some of our adult participants go fill the slots sometimes for them? And go work in the food pantry and just do different things. So,
when does Midday Rotary meet, by the way?
On Tuesdays at noon at Station 330.
Oh, it's another good place.
Yeah, I know. And the Midday Rotary Club is a great organization, too, who also supports all the local organizations and international organizations.
Sure. So, I dealt with the Rotary when I was at school. They had scholarships and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're getting ready to roll out the scholarships.
They're really good. We got, the Lions Club. We got the American Legion. Sandy Mason's been on several times, and I'm doing a ad for him on the radio station. By the way, they're having a meeting next week, guys. If you're a member or want to be a member of the American Legion, check out the ads. I believe, if I recall, it's Thursday night, but of next week. So, but anyway, but see, that's why I like doing this show. I was talking about the other day with somebody, and they thought, I thought you were going to talk about politics all the time. So no. Maybe I started that way 5.5 years ago, but this is what it's evolved to, and I'm really glad. I think this is not an accident. I really think this is what God had intended for this show to be, regardless of what I thought it was going to be.
Right.
And
that's kind of what's happening with the center.
Right.
We started for one thing, and God's definitely turned us into this.
Yes.
And it's kind of, it's kind of inspiring. It's interesting. I don't know what to call it, but over the last few days, we've hosted 6 parent meetings now, 7?
6. And you have one more tonight.
We have one more tonight.
Oh boy.
So, but it's good. Like, and that's the thing. And that's part. So one of the things that we've talked about recently in strategic planning is our mission. Our mission is to deliver lifelong support to the special needs community. What people don't understand. So I'm going to ask Taylor, whenever I say special needs community, what do you think of?
The Center for ASD?
Yeah.
Any particular individuals? People with diagnoses?
Go ahead and hit the cricket.
So one of the things that we have discovered is that when people see our mission, they're like, oh, great. They help people with special needs. And they help the special needs, community. What people don't understand is I am part of the special needs community. My husband is. Gabe's brothers are. Like, so we have to broaden that perspective for the community and realize that what the center brings, we bring so much more than just a daytime program or just social programs. We bring respite to families that need it, that are struggling and living this life on their own. And so by having all these parent meetings, we're really encouraging the families, like, take ownership. This is not my business. I am not the owner of this. I'm the CEO and founder, and God has put us here, and here we are. But now we need to remember that Gabe is going to need the center in the next 15, 20 years. Like, he's going to need this for the rest of his life. So even families that just come visit us for a season, like if they're doing a social group and then we don't see them for another 6 months, they want to know that we're going to be here in 6 months.
Exactly.
So remembering that this is forever, this is all of our forevers.
This is the only autism-related group that I know of in any community. Okay. I'm sure there's probably a couple others somewhere in DFW, but I don't know them.
There's a lot of places that do therapy, and that's one thing we don't do.
Yeah, but as far as...
We do community.
Right, and the whole package. And
that's good.
And like you put that on the bumper sticker,
Slogan.
Right? Slogan, yeah.
Community, yeah.
But, but you're right, because when I talked to Megan and Summer, they're not just focused on the young lady, they're also...
The family, the dads,
the mom and dad of the pregnant lady, and any other kids are involved. It's like there's a whole same thing with Lisa or the Crazy Eight, same thing with our house, same thing, on and on. Right. Is that people don't realize this is a whole family commitment, and
it's a trickle down effect.
Yeah, right. Because you've told us many times about how your brothers, Gabe's brothers rather, have had to adjust to Gabe's situation.
Yeah. And, one of the things that, talking about Jeff, so we go to Alley Cats a couple times a month. All of our groups do. And we go during the day and they go bowl or they go putt-putt or whatever, or they go play mini golf. And so the awareness and the education that we bring by putting our participants out there. So we used to say that we're putting our participants out there so they can learn. We're putting our participants out there so other people can learn how to serve us, how to serve those that we serve, because those that we serve still bring value. It doesn't matter if they have a diagnosis. We just have to slow down a little bit and communicate with them. But so the Alley Cat staff specifically, they look forward to us coming in.
Sure.
And they make friends with our participants. And one of them was running a concession stand, and one of our participants didn't have money. They didn't have enough money to get everything that they wanted. So they legit reached into their pocket and paid for the drink for our participant that didn't have enough. So it's like finding that value in all that we do, not just, they serve the special needs participants. And that's not just what we do.
No. It's,
I'm on fire.
Yes, you are. Well, but I have had a couple of relatives that had special needs, not specifically autism, but like cerebral palsy and all this. And it's just, any type of situation like this takes a whole family. Yeah. And what I would like most about what y'all do isn't just what you do for the kids or the adults or whatever, but you give the parents or your guardians a couple hours to go shopping if they need to, or I don't know, if they're married couple, go out and have a dinner, because
it's not easy to come by.
Yeah, it isn't. And I know a couple of families with autistic kids, and they're pretty, well behaved. I guess they're quiet. A couple of them I know. They don't make a lot of noise. But we also seen situations where
you've seen the other end of it.
Yeah, the child was a bit hard to manage because of his condition. I mean, it's nothing. It's not his fault certainly, but his condition. He was more aggressive, you might say. And I feel for him because that must be very, very debilitating, tiring, exhausting.
It is.
It is.
And, one of the things that we also do for our parents that people don't know about or, don't even think about is we have legal representation that we have built relationships with that will provide a discount to our families as they're applying for guardianship or as they're applying for Social Security, because those are just some of the walks that are so hard for us to take. Just when you think that, oh, okay, my kid's turning 18, it's going to get a little bit easier now. We can apply for Social Security. We hired the attorney for us for Social Security, and they did a majority of the paperwork, and I had Jasmine help me make copies for it. It was daunting.
Yes,
it was really daunting. And I called yesterday because we applied back in July, and I called yesterday and I got the recording, and it said, we're processing Social Security disability applications, and we are, just to let everybody know, we are 200 to 260 days out in processing those. So, and I'm like, okay, so I got another 4 or 5 months to wait until we hear something back. But it just doesn't stop for us as parents.
Because the change in the law, Robin and I are dealing with Social Security on a different matter.
Yeah.
And I got an appointment, and I asked for it in early January. I'm still 60 days away from having my appointment with Social Security. So for us, it was nearly 90 days. But we didn't have to do all the documentation you'll have to do.
Right.
It's just a straight up deal, but they're just, I guess that's just the way it is, right?
Yeah, and it's hard enough already, as individuals doing that as an individual. But then whenever you know that you're going to have to go through this process every year, and every few years they require new documentation to make sure our child still has autism. I'm like, how many years am I going to?
Yet they still have it. It's not like they're going to. There's no cure, is there? I mean, we our mutual friend Deanna Jones. Right. We've talked before.
Love them.
Right, and
Milk comes to thrive in kitchen chaos.
But when you're coming on the show, I tell her, and we talk about her son, and he's doing pretty well. He works at Babes, and he's got a job, and all this other stuff. But it's not like your typical situation, is it? Where they turn 18 and go off to school or certain age and they get their own place. I mean, it is a lifelong thing.
Yeah. So I told some people the other day, my son is 18. And I was so proud. I told my husband when we saw each other that night, and I was like, I had such a productive day this morning before 7 a.m. I woke up at 6. I took care of myself, and then I shaved Gabe and cut his toenails. People don't think that never stops. It never stops. My child is going to need to be forever shaved, and he's going to need someone to forever clip his toenails. And it's not fun doing it for an 18-year-old, much less he's 6'2", 230 pounds. So I'm already having to look up and tiptoe and tell him to look down. But it's also not the life that I imagined having.
It's a big kid. When I'm thinking about my cousin he didn't know his own strength. He had disabilities as well. And he didn't know his own strength. He didn't mean to be that way. He couldn't help himself.
Yeah.
And so I've heard that kind of story too, that sometimes, when they get bigger than their caretaker, it could be a problem.
And yes, definitely. But they also when they get bigger, like for us in our situation, Gabe and his size, he doesn't perceive himself physically. He just thinks, he's mentally here, right? So he'll still want to hug me really tight. He'll still want to hug my mom. And I'm like, Gabe, be careful with grandma. Like, you can't hug grandma that tight. You can't. He goes running through the house sometimes, and he just doesn't even know it. He's just doing his thing. But he'll go running from his bedroom through the living room into the kitchen. And if you don't step out of his way, you're going to go down. Like, the train is coming, and you better get off the tracks. And we laugh about it, but we also know it's not funny, because if anybody that is not aware of him and his movement like that, you're going to get injured. And he's not trying to be mean. He just doesn't know his own strength. And he's very big, but he doesn't know how to use his weight. So sometimes my husband will mess with him, and he'll be like, Gabe, push. And Gabe will push. And he's like, no, don't push from there. Push from your legs. Like, we have to teach Gabe how to use that. And sometimes when he uses it, it can be painful.
Yeah.
It can be painful. He's a big dude.
Is that why you have Jasmine around, in case this happens at this dinner?
They get to enjoy Gabe every day.
I love it. It's an everyday thing. And he comes into my office and shows me what he saw in the day throughout his day. So. And
he's giant, and he dances, and he gets it. And it's like, when he's dancing, don't get close to him. He'll knock you over.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm just thinking about, again, he's actually my second cousin, but I remember he's my mom's cousin, and then when we were younger, we'd go visit, and I'm a little kid. I didn't know what was going on, but I I just know that when he finally got to the point he was physically too much for my
Sometimes you have to
great
place him
aunt.
someplace different.
Yeah, they had to put him in a situation because he hurt her, not intentionally, of course, but it just seemed so much stronger.
Yeah.
But I guess that we kind of go off on that tangent. But that's the kind of stuff you provide, though, is people who probably are like at their wits' end. I would imagine they don't know how to deal with this. They don't, and they may not know of your place, and then they find out about it.
Right.
Do they come to you sometimes say,
Yes.
we just need help. We don't know what to do.
Yes. We can't always serve their children because if they have extreme behaviors, we can't always serve those because of our ratios, but we have families that we serve. We still serve the parents and they're walking through trying to place their child in a home. And it's a terrible, like you think that you think your kid's going to turn 18 and grow up and move out. The last thing you anticipate is your kid living with you forever. But now you're like, okay, I need to keep my kids safe, but they can't live with me because they're not safe. I'm not safe. The situation's not safe. So we need to make a decision on what to do.
Yeah.
So it's a terrible place to be. And,
I remember that even as when I got a little older teenager, then when they put him in a home, there was a few tears.
Yeah.
Because, it's not what anybody wanted. But it is what it is. And
so we just try to support people through all their seasons. And, we know people that have placed their kids in homes. And when we have other parents walking that journey, we're able to pair them together and be like, hey, can you help so-and-so? Can you just be here? Can you visit with them? Can you provide, some support? So.
I don't see how you do it, frankly, honestly, because I've told you before that, where I was located at Burleson High School, right down the hall was the special needs kids and all this. And some of them needed a whole lot more attention than others. There was some, I had my class because they would try to mainstream, and those were able to function. I wouldn't say normally, but enough to get through a classroom. And usually what BHS would do is that they'd put all the 504 kids, as they called them, for various reasons, in one class at one time. So the teacher would have like an assistant for that period. And mine was always usually first period for whatever reason. And, some of them needed more attention than others. That was a very interesting class because I had I remember my last year, I had a class of about 25 one first period. And there were 4 different segments, 4 different groups, English as second language, the 504 kids, the quote normal, which if you teenage normal, don't go in the same sentence.
Anymore,
Yeah, right. And then maybe some with other learning disabilities like dyslexia or whatever else. And it was a very eclectic bunch. And
we definitely have. But I think that what benefits us is our ratios. We still stay focused on the ratios of keeping them small, making sure that we're giving everybody attention. We know kind of who irritates who. So when we try to teach them coping skills, and we really all need to get along, but we also know when too much is too much and we just need to, let them go into their separate ways. But, and I think that's the thing. And I'm hoping everybody finds value in what we do.
Oh, I guarantee it.
What we need is the community to rally because, with the 2 matches, and I'm going to talk about this if that's okay.
No, yeah, it's when I lead into how are you raising the money? Yeah.
So right now we have lots of talks happening. We have the wonderful Mayor Chris Fletcher and his wife that have put up $100,000 to be matched.
Whoa.
I know.
Where's the mayor getting this money?
I know.
He's on the show Tuesday. I'm going to ask him that question.
Yeah, so him and his wife.
I bet, you know what?
Nancy is fabulous.
It's very, it's like him, his nature, but it's not like him to be publicized for it.
Right. And he told me to be public. He was like, Lisa, if you need to be public for it with me, go ahead.
He's done other things like that. Yeah. And he doesn't want his name used because he believes and they'll, do it, for him.
He did. We had this conversation on Saturday. We were talking about it, and he was like, "Lisa, if you need to use my name, use my name." Well, because he's like, and I'm not trying to be. Of course, he's not trying to be like, "Oh, I'm mayor and I'm doing these great things." No, he's like, whatever's going to help the center raise this money, we want to help do it because they believe in us.
$100,000 is serious. Yeah. I mean, that's putting your money where your mouth is.
It
isn't
is. And we have another community supporter that is doing $100,000 also that would like to remain anonymous. So right now we have lots of talks happening. There are lots of talks happening in the community. We are having our parent conversations. I'm having lots of conversations with people in the community about matching this. We have a couple private foundations that are looking about supporting us and matching some of this money. But the goal is to raise this $400,000 and be able to put down a large down payment on something and take out, the loan for the rest of it. But what's really cool after our first parent meeting last week, going back to, we're asking our families to find the value and take ownership in us. This is not just mine. It's not mine. It's not mine at all. This is ours. So let's keep our house growing. Let's keep our house going. And we had like $820 raised within like an hour and a half. And what people don't understand, we will stack pennies all day long. They all stack the same way.
Yeah,
they all stack the same way. So someone donated $20, someone donated $100, someone donated $500. We had a mom do a football pot for us.
And she donated like $800, I think, to the
Yeah, she donated. Yeah. And so it's all coming, it's going to take a minute. I just hope if everybody gets behind us, we can get there a whole lot faster.
Are you comfortable telling the community how much you actually need? Oh, I mean, are you going to be able to tell us a number that you need to make this work?
Right now, we're looking at $400,000 for a down payment.
Right.
And then I talked to a bank this morning, and I'm going to talk to another bank hopefully today or tomorrow to see if the center would be able to take a loan for $350 to $400. Okay. And then hopefully that will help us out.
Well, I bet the banks want to help. I just wonder, I know they have rules they have to follow.
It's hard because we're a nonprofit.
Right, and all this other business. But
I'm hoping by providing a whole lot of skin in the game, they're going to be like, okay, y'all aren't going to go anywhere.
Well, so on your website, is there like a specific donation button, so matching funds? Because, a lot of us donate monthly through the, our recurring giving and all this.
Right. Thank you.
There, it says, Kayla Pruitt says, "Ride at dawn."
Let's ride, man. Who's in?
Okay, Kayla Pruitt is her name. Is this an event or just
no? This is so. I'm going to tell you. So this year we have our Waymaker breakfast that I know I'm thinking you've been invited to. If you have not, you need to get on that list.
Oh well, when is this, by the way?
February 25th.
Which is what date? What day is it?
It's a Tuesday. It's in the morning from 8:30 to 10.
No. What are you going to say?
I have a class at DBU at 8 o'clock.
Come on, get a sub. They're fine. They're adults. They're adults. They're fine. So that's kind of so that's the thing. But if you can't join us, we understand. But that's our thing. I really feel like God leads us, right? And I feel like He leads me. And last year He was like, okay, get ready. He was like, get ready. So last year we did so many things to get ready. It's like, let's prepare this year so that way we can move into 2025 and be ready for what's coming next. And so last year we did an audit, we did outcomes, preparation, we did strategic planning and everything. And this year my word is go. And it's not, and I don't look for a word, like I'm not the whole new year, new me type person, but it's like God's telling me to go. And I don't know, maybe I go quietly, maybe I go loudly, maybe I go and prayer. I don't know. But yeah, this year our slogan is who's in? Like, let's do it. And I text you. I'm like, let's go. Let's change the world, Brad.
Right.
You're like, let's change our community. And I'm like, let's go. Who's in?
Yeah. Kayla Pruitt is just big support for anywhere she leads or needs and is going to do from this Kayla Pruitt here. Yeah. We want you to be led here. Stay in Burleson.
We
Absolutely.
Would like that.
Do you have any other events coming up? Like, I don't know. Because, I mean, I know in the spring, Next Step has something coming up on the Walk for Life. We got Crazy Eights in the City on the Hill. And
yeah, so we try to work around everybody else's. We all communicate our events. Right? Yeah, we all work around each other's events. That was okay. Well, first you had asked to donate, so they can go to our website, click the donate button. They can do a one-time donation, or you can pick if you want one time or if you want monthly or whatever, and then you can put a note for matching, and we will put that towards our matching funds. But so again, we don't undervalue anything. Everything is so valuable to us. So whether it's $5 or $500, $5,000, it's all the same. Obviously, the larger numbers add up different, but they all stack the same direction.
It depends on the situation of the giver, because a lot of times when I talk to people like y'all, I'm always reminded of the widow's mite story in Scripture. That how she gave more than all these other rich people.
Yeah, she gave everything she could.
Right, and so it's. $5 may not be anything to most people, but $5
maybe everything to someone.
Yeah, and so and we never ever want to make it, because sometimes we get in these situations. It happens, in church. And have a big building fund campaign, and I can only give $100. I can't give like a whole wing, and you feel kind of like
it doesn't count.
Right,
it doesn't matter.
Inconsequential, but nothing's inconsequential to God when it comes to these things.
Right.
I don't even know if he looks at the amount. He looks at the situation and the heart of the giver.
Right. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Man, so I was just asking, I guess maybe I missed the answer. Do you have an event similar to what, other than the breakfast? Do you have like I don't know, something like, it's just off the top of my head, you ever thought about, getting a hold of Chaz Forster over at the farmer's market and seeing if you could have a couple of Saturdays with a
so we have been at the farmer's market before. Yeah,
right.
We've had a relationship with Chad.
Yeah.
We're definitely, as far as fundraising specifically to meet these funds, this all rolled out about 2 weeks ago, I think. So it's going pretty fast, but our families have asked for a system like a fundraising or an event envelope fundraiser. It's kind of like the calendar fundraiser, pick a day. We really haven't even had time to sit down and be like, right now we're getting the word out, and we need to sit down and get something a little bit more structured.
Well, here's something I was going to bring up. I kind of teased it earlier in the show and on the promo, if you will, on Facebook about another opportunity to get your word out. Yeah. Taylor, you want to throw up that logo? Most of y'all are familiar with the Journey 88.3.
Yep.
Met with Rich Hooper yesterday. Have you met Rich?
I have.
Okay. And we're going to do a little cross promotion with each other. It's not that my show is going to be on the radio because they don't do that. That's music, and if they do have any talk, it's scripture.
Right.
But they are going to be doing promos for all my shows, and so yours is the first one. So tomorrow the DJs will be saying, "Check out Mr. Allard's Neighborhood about the Center for Autism."
Oh, very nice.
Yes, and so next week,
way to get the word out.
Rich and friended me on Facebook,
Rich, yeah.
And we got together. ASD Coffee over at Black Rifle, which is good coffee.
Yeah,
and so what I'm doing for him is this, and he's going to send me 3 advertisements for the radio station. I'm going to put on community radio at my little gig. Yeah. And then his DJs will say, okay, this week on Mr. Allard's Neighborhood is going to, like next week with Jeff Kelly and the mayor.
Yeah.
And then after those shows are done, they're going to say, go back and, hey, if you want to know what's going on in Burleson, Mr. Allard's Neighborhood had Chris Fletcher on, look at the other guests.
That's amazing. Yeah. The reach is already so big, all of your platforms that you're on and then the 88.3, that's amazing. That's a huge platform.
Well, it's kind of like, it's not so much a New Year's resolution, but I'm going to go all in and try to make this work. And if it doesn't work, I'll go sack groceries.
Let's go. Yeah, who's in? Yeah. We're in. Taylor, are you in?
Yeah.
Yes.
Taylor has said to make this work for the next 6 months, he's not going to charge me at all.
Oh.
Not really.
Taylor.
No, he's like, what?
Fake news.
Fake news. Yeah. No. But anyway, no, it's so, right. If you go to the community radio TX, and then we'll go back to Journey. This is online.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
You have a good playlist.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
And people say, well, you're advertising the radio station on your radio station. Well, we're in different lanes, right?
Yeah.
He plays Christian music and it's donor supported and it's, a nonprofit and all that. And mine didn't intended to be a nonprofit, but it's a low profit, you might say, but it's fine. It's pizza money, I hope. But anyway, between this and Facebook, you also put these shows on the radio. So your show will be on at 5:00 today and 1:00 tomorrow afternoon. We
need to remember to keep resharing.
Yeah, right.
All the different groups.
It's pretty easy to get on the take the YouTube version, you transfer it to the appropriate MP3 format. Bang, you put it on the air.
We need to put it on our website.
Okay,
put the link on our website.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Good idea.
All right. So community radio will have this show again on at 5:00 today and 1:00 tomorrow afternoon. And then tomorrow afternoon, they're going to start with the promo saying, check this out and all this other stuff. Yeah. And I'm really going to keep it specific to the podcast, not so much the radio, because for the promos on his station, because he doesn't want to drive. He wants listeners too, right?
Right. Yeah.
But this is going to be a great deal because my wife listens to this station. Yeah. And when I told her what was going on, she was really excited about it, and because she supports the message. And now that KLTY is gone, if you want this type of Christian music, this is your place to get it now.
Yeah.
And
they need to, I think that they're working on expanding their reach. Like they need some antennas. I don't understand all of that stuff. But
well, we talked a little about that yesterday, but that's another one of those things that the money's got to drop in pretty soon. But but that's their goals.
Yeah.
And also, I do believe they do fundraising drives, and I'm going to help with that.
Yeah, I would love to go help with that. Let me go help you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, I think everybody in Burleson would go support Rich.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's already made a really good impression. He's only been in here about a year and a half, but he's already met with a lot of people. And when I told a couple people, I got coffee with Rich Hooper, and he's such a nice man, and blah, blah, blah. And, they were like, you're going to like doing business with this guy. And he's one of those people I met for the first time in person. Yesterday, and within 2 minutes, I said, "This is somebody I know I can do business with." Yeah. Right? If you put that logo back up there, just for their sake, okay? Not that one.
I just want to say something about that. So your community radio, you have, is it 70s and 80s music?
And some 60s.
Okay. Where do people go to listen to music from the 50s and early 60s anymore? I miss that. So my parents listen to it, but go into the chapel. Where is that? Where is that anymore?
I own a lot of that music. I see. For me to be able to play it on my radio station, I have to own it.
Oh.
I can't download it from Spotify or.
Did y'all like that little singing?
I was thinking I was like being there, but I have a lot of stuff from like the 60s, a lot of 50s, the old blues music from the 50s. And the first time I did that radio station, I put that on there, and I didn't get anything. So I just said, okay, it's going to be familiar songs for the most part, 60s through mid to late 80s.
Yeah.
There was another sample.
You want another sample?
Yeah.
Go to the chapel. Or what was it? What was that one? Where her boyfriend's
back and you're going to be in trouble.
Back and you're going to be in trouble. But what is that one? Watch out, watch out, watch out. You know, where her boyfriend dies in a car accident?
Yeah, I remember that song.
Can't remember. Gosh.
Yeah, it's a cheesy one. But I do special shows sometimes. Like I could segment shows that I don't have on the regular playlist. Like I could have like an hour and a half of new wave, which I don't have some of it's in the playlist, some is not. Or I could have some Bob Wills type Texas swing music, which I don't have in the playlist, but I can segment it for a special show. I do that for like country gospel. Yeah. I'm doing my church, First Baptist. I do them on Sunday nights and Wednesday nights, their Sunday service. And there's a couple of the churches I'm talking with, but I don't want to drop them names yet. But because if they didn't work out, I don't want it to sound bad. Right. But anyway, back to the journey. And Rich, what I'm asking y'all out there in vast listening audience, this is particularly your station. You're going to hear these promos and then encourage people. This is what Mr. Allard's Neighborhood's doing these days. I'll rant about whatever, Pelosi, Trump, et cetera, on my own time. And in fact, if I do a political show, I may not ask him to promote it. Yeah. Because that's not what they're about. They're about this. Right. All right. So I'm going to just kind of save the promotions for public service stuff.
That's good. I like it. Congratulations, you. Look at you grow.
Yeah. Well, I just said,
job.
Well, Taylor said, get off your butt and do something. Oh,
good job, Taylor. Way to encourage.
Anytime.
Robin's like, get out of the house. You bother me. Makes you look forward to marriage, doesn't it, Jasmine?
Oh, I'm married.
You're married?
Yes.
Well, were you married the last time you were here?
Yes.
Oh, right, the first time you were here?
Yes. I've been married for 3 years.
Bianca was not married.
I know, but I'm just looking at her.
Jasmine's been married, yeah.
She's, what, you're 16, right? I mean,
I'm 24.
24, okay.
She has a beautiful little baby.
What?
Yeah, she's 3. She'll be 4 this year.
Honestly, you walk in, I thought you were 19 or 20.
Yeah.
Nope.
She's got baby face.
Yeah, no kidding. You enjoy, being a mom and a wife and all that?
Oh, yeah. It's fun. It's great. The 3-year-old keeps me on my toes the most, I think.
There you go. Yeah, well, when they get to be teenagers, it's a lot easier.
I doubt that. It wasn't easy for my mom.
Where's the sound effect for that one?
How about having adult children?
I got 2 of them. Yes, I got 2 of them.
That's so hard.
Yes, include my son, who is, let's say that if people think I indoctrinated my children to be far right wingers and Republicans, I have failed utterly with this one. My son is out there, but he loves it. Okay. Anyway, well, let's go ahead and conclude before I get too silly. I just want to say again, check for the promos on the Journey. Also, again, this will be on tonight at 5 and tomorrow at 1 on Community Radio. This will be on Apple and Spotify. I got back on that. I said, if we're going to do it, let's do it all the way.
Fancy.
So I think both Victoria's show and the Chamber of Commerce show is currently on Apple and Spotify, and this will be on. Usually, it's a day after, isn't it, Taylor?
Tomorrow, 10 a.m.
All right. Yeah. It takes, for whatever, it usually takes about a day to get it to them. Mm-hmm. So you can also hear this on those two platforms. So you're just all over the Metroplex area.
Nice.
But y'all you finished the show. Tell us what we need to know.
So we need the community to spread the word. We need to go wide. We need to go up. We need to go all over the place. We need to match these $200,000 because literally the future of our center depends on it. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited. I know we're going to be okay. I know everything's going to work out. I know God has us. He's never failed us. But I also know that we need to be the doers. We need to be the hands and feet. So we need to know who's in. Who's in?
Well, I think it's going to happen. Not just because I want to put it out there as a positive thought, but I think it's going to happen because people know that this center does for the community, even if they don't have children or relatives in it. They know what's going on. Almost everybody we knows somebody with a child with special needs, and and as far as the services that it's hard to come by. Yeah. I hear this a lot. So I'm hoping that the show will do something. Matching funds, get out there. God bless the mayor. I really, and this other anonymous donor, both of them definitely put jewels in their crown, as they say in scripture, for what they're doing. And, but on the other hand, guys, just if you don't have $100,000, that's fine. If you got $10, that's a pretty good deal.
Yep.
So don't let
it all adds up.
It all adds up.
It all
adds
up.
And so there you go. Light Up the Night. What's that? What's on the screen here?
Light Up the Night is our event that happens on April 5th. It's the one that brings autism awareness.
Oh.
Yeah. So that one happens at the Lisa and Brick parking lot.
Okay. There you go. Y'all do this all the time. I remember
we do.
This is like the third time I've done it through here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we're going to have you on the show again before June 1st.
Okay.
Because you said July 1st is your deadline. Who is this? Lori Stone, is it?
Lori Stone.
Yeah, my 7-year-old is thriving at CASD. Of course, there you go. I bet that must be pretty fulfilling.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do April 5th, and we'll get you on before then, so you can promote it. And before you leave, we'll get you on the calendar. I got plenty of dates in March, and so we'll do that. So we'll talk about that primarily, and also the status of your situation.
Yep. Thank you. I'm believing. We're getting this wrapped up. It's going to go fast.
We're speaking it in faith, as they say.
We are.
Mm-hmm. Jasmine, next time you come, don't talk so much, dadgummit.
Okay, I'll try.
I'll try to make sure when I keep her on her toes, I keep her aware of what I'm going to have her talk about.
I mean, you asked me about something that I had no control over and didn't send out, so I don't know.
Okay.
Thanks for having us on.
Oh no, it's something I really enjoy doing. It's my honor. Okay, we'll see you Monday with Jeff Kelly. We'll see you Tuesday with the mayor. So we'll see y'all later.
Nice. Have a good one.